Welcome back to the Justice Drop Legal Bars, Rights, and Real Talk, your go to podcast for real life legal insights, where we discuss everything from courtroom battles to life lessons you won't want to miss. My name is Jamahl Kersey, and I'm a criminal defense attorney with over 15 years of experience, and I've seen it all. And today we're going to dive into a topic that's crucial for both parents and college students, and that's binge drinking at college parties. And we're not here to sugarcoat it. This is a serious issue with legal, health, and safety implications. So let's jump right into it. Let's start with the legal consequences of binge drinking. I mean, for many students, college is their first taste of real independence, and that comes with the temptation to push boundaries. Unfortunately, one of those boundaries often involves alcohol. And you might be thinking, well, everybody drinks at college parties. It's no big deal. But let me tell you, the law does not care if it's common or just part of the college experience. Let's talk about underage drinking first. In most states, including California, if you're under 21, drinking alcohol is illegal, plain and simple. And if you get caught, the consequences can be significant. I mean, we're talking about fines, mandatory alcohol education programs, and even community service. But it doesn't stop there. That underage drinking charge can show up on background checks when you're applying for internships, jobs, or even grad school. I mean, it's not something you want following you around for years to come. Listen, I'm not naive. I was once a college student too. I know I'm not going to stop underage drinking with this podcast episode, but I'm just letting you know you have to be careful because there could be serious consequences. Now let's shift gears and talk about driving under the influence. DUI charges are no joke. Even if you think you're just a little buzzed and you're fine to drive, the law doesn't see it that way. One too many drinks can land you in handcuffs, facing fines, a license suspension, and in some situations, even jail time. And it's not just a bad night. This is something that can affect your insurance, your ability to drive, and even your career prospects for years to come. I've represented people who could have sworn they weren't intoxicated, but the breathalyzer results said otherwise. And let me be clear, the legal limit is a zero point zero 0.08 BAC in most states, and you'd be surprised just how quickly you can reach that after just a few drinks. So, if you plan on drinking, you either need to plan on staying right where you are for the night, or you need to have a designated driver in place. You can call an Uber, you can call a cab. It's just not worth risking getting arrested. And more importantly, it's not worth risking your life and other people's lives on the road. There may not be anything worse than getting behind the wheel drunk and waking up hours later. You have no idea what happened. You're surrounded by officers. One of them breaks the news to you. You just killed a family of four because you lost control of your vehicle and now you're facing multiple counts of murder. This is real. Please do not drive under the influence of alcohol. And let's not forget alcohol related incidents like fights or accidents. I've seen situations where a night of partying ended up in a physical altercation, and now someone's facing a felony assault charge. In many of these cases, no one involved even remembers how things escalated. You thought your girl was flirting with the guy next to her when in reality she was just being nice, trying to tell him she was with you. And alcohol blurred the lines and turned a minor misunderstanding into now a serious legal issue. And once you're in that situation, it's really hard to undo the damage. And what could have been resolved with a simple conversation now turns into something that might follow you for the rest of your life. If you see a friend getting into it with someone and you can safely intervene, please do so. I mean, friends should not encourage friends to do things that can compromise their future. So, to my parents, this is where you come in. You need to have these conversations with your kids before they head off to college. Talk to them about the reality of these legal risks and how one bad decision can lead to a lifetime of consequences. And for the students, don't assume that you're invincible just because you're young. The law applies to everyone, and it doesn't take much for things to go south and fast. Now, I want to address an extremely important topic, and this is consent and alcohol. This is an area that gets dangerously complicated when binge drinking is involved, and it's something that every student should be aware of. And the law is very clear on this. If someone is too intoxicated to make rational decisions, they cannot legally give consent. And that means, engaging in any type of sexual activity with someone who's drunk can lead to serious legal repercussions. And this is up to and including sexual assault or even rape charges. So even if both parties are drunk, if you're the guy and you're drunk and you take advantage of another girl who was drunk, you being drunk and not really knowing what you were doing, that's not going to be a defense. Let me share a real case example. And of course, I'm not giving any names, but I represented a young man who had no prior criminal history. He and a girl had hooked up at a party after both of them had been drinking pretty heavily. The next day, the girl claimed she was too drunk to give consent, and suddenly he was facing felony charges. And this wasn't a predator situation, it was two people making poor decisions under the influence of alcohol. But ultimately, that didn't matter. This guy's life was turned completely upside down. And we eventually resolved the case, but the emotional, financial, and social toll were enormous. And just having the mere accusation of a rape charge is enough to destroy someone's life, regardless of the outcome of the case. You do not want to risk this. And so here's the takeaway. When alcohol is involved, your judgment is impaired. And you might think in the moment everything's fine, but the other party may see it differently. Consent should be clear, sober, and enthusiastic. If it's not, you're walking into dangerous territory. It's crucial for students to understand that sexual decisions made while under the influence of alcohol can lead to life altering consequences. And parents, this is another tough but necessary conversation to have with your kids. Talk about what consent really means and why it's critical to ensure that both parties are fully aware and capable of making decisions. Explain that alcohol affects judgment and that what seems like a harmless hookup could lead to criminal charges that follow them for years. And I know these conversations aren't easy, but they're absolutely necessary. Ignoring the risks won't make them go away. You need to equip your kids with the knowledge that they need in order to protect themselves legally and emotionally. It's also important to discuss the health and safety risks associated with binge drinking. When students go off to college, they're often balancing academics, social life, newfound independence, a job. It's easy to get caught up in the party culture, but binge drinking can have serious consequences that go beyond the legal realm. First, let's talk about alcohol poisoning. Drinking large amounts of alcohol in a short period can overwhelm your body, leading to alcohol poisoning, which can be fatal if not treated promptly. The problem is when you're young, you don't know what your limits are. You've never been in this situation before. And so, symptoms of alcohol poisoning can include vomiting, confusion, seizures, slow breathing, and unconsciousness. And if somebody passes out from drinking, it's not a sign that they need to just sleep it off. They may actually need immediate medical attention. Never allow yourself to be pressured into drinking more than you want to. And perhaps this might be easier said than done, but if it doesn't feel right, do what you need to do to remove yourself from the situation. Here's something else to consider, and that's the impact of alcohol on your decision making. When you're binge drinking, your inhibitions are lowered, and you might do things that you wouldn't normally do when sober, and that's like go home with a stranger or vandalize property. Guys have been known to become daredevils, jumping off of roofs or playing with fire. These are dangerous situations that can lead to accidents, assaults, or worse. And then there's the long term health impacts. College students often don't think about the long term effects of their actions, but binge drinking can lead to serious health issues down the road, including liver damage, heart disease, and addiction. What seems like harmless fun now can turn into a pattern that affects your health for the rest of your life. So you got to be careful. And for my students listening, please think about your future. Is a night of binge drinking worth the risk to your health, your safety, and your long term goals? And for the parents, you got to encourage your kids to take care of themselves. Let them know it's okay to say no to a drink, to look out for their friends, and to make smart decisions even if everyone else is doing the opposite. At the end of the day, binge drinking at college parties isn't just something all the cool kids are doing. It's a real issue with real consequences. And whether it's the legal risks, the potential for accidents, or the impact on health and safety, the stakes are high. But with the right knowledge and a little foresight, many of these risks can be avoided. Again, to my students listening, I get it. College is a time to have fun, make memories, and enjoy your newfound freedom. But just make sure you're doing it safely and responsibly. Don't let one night of bad decisions affect the rest of your life. Look out for yourself and look out for your friends. And to the parents, keep these conversations open and honest. You may feel like your kids aren't always listening, but you have the responsibility of giving them the tools to navigate these challenges, and that's absolutely crucial. Equip them with the knowledge that they need to make smart decisions even when you're not around to guide them. And there should be an open line of communication. Your son or daughter should be able to call you in the middle of the night if necessary, if they find themselves intoxicated or in trouble. They should know they can call on you without you getting upset or judging them. Before we close out this episode, if you found today's conversation helpful and want to dive deeper into the topics we've covered, you can head over to our resource page at kerseylaw.office.com/resources. We've got a collection of guides, articles, and tools that are designed to help you navigate your legal situation with confidence. Whether you're looking for more information on defending against criminal charges or simply want to stay informed, it's all there for you. Remember, applied knowledge is power, and we're here to arm you with everything you need to protect your future. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Justice Drop. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with a friend, leave us a review, and stay tuned for more episodes where we tackle the legal issues that matter the most to you. Until next time, stay informed, stay safe, stay blessed, and keep making smart decisions. Talk to you soon. Peace.